Hi, my name is Rodrigo Sarreiro, and I made my PowerPoint to help coaches in player management. This PowerPoint is meant to examine the relationship between coaches and players and how the coach's actions have influence on the self-esteem and self-worth of his athletes. This PowerPoint will discuss the role of coaches and provide coaches with tactics for positive coaching. The video will serve as a source of motivation for coaches to create a sense of community and with their teams and to set high expectation for athletes' performance and personal presentation. I'm going to start with my faith, values, and beliefs. I've always been a firm believer that how we act is much more important than what we say or what we claim to be. We need to be the best example that we can and be honest and respectful in all that we do. By that, it's not only enough to say things, but it's also important to try to make a difference in someone's life and try to be a better person every day. Try to really help people out there and not only say things. Philosophies of our sports program. Outstanding athletic programs should teach students, athletes, how to compete, how to prepare, how to win and lose, and to understand the values that are part of sports. Today's athletes are feeling more pressure and expectations than ever before. Our athletes need to be a part of an environment free of humiliation and one that values respect, building character, and positive leadership. Some of the friendships that I've done during my career as an athlete is still my friends until today, even 20 years later. So we never had problems with humiliating each other. We always felt like it's important to be part of the team and how to build the bond and the friendship that you can actually carry on for the rest of your life. You, the coaches, are one of the most important people in the lives of these young athletes. Questions to consider and tips for positivity. How will you create a sense of community in your team? One way to create a sense of community in your team is to listen. As a coach, you have to make some decisions that your athletes may not like, but it will help if you offer them a chance to share their opinion. It makes your athletes to feel that they're part of the team, that they've been listening, and that you really care about what they think. Listening without interrupting communicates caring and lets the player know that you're taking them seriously. Ask players for their advice in certain situations and make them believe that they're important. I believe this is very important for a team. Listen to your athletes and appreciate their opinion and sometimes even use the informations that you gather from them. Questions to consider and tips for positivity. How will you motivate athletes to perform at their fullest potential? Showing appreciation and recognition for your athletes is a great way to motivate them. When someone notices our effort, we want to make even more efforts. It's also important to help athletes see their potential. When someone helps us see our potential, most of us will work harder. I had a situation with one of my coaches in the past that I had to sit on a bench for a while. And what he wanted to show me is that I needed to work harder to earn, to deserve my spot on the team. I trained really hard for weekends and weekends and weekends, and when I had a chance to finally compete, I went there and I believe I had one of the best games of my life. I will never forget the lesson I've learned from him. Work hard and you'll be rewarded. And his recognition of that made me feel better and made me want to work even harder. How will you convince athletes that they must always present themselves well? Not all students and athletes have positive role models in their lives to show them the importance of presenting themselves well. You can be that role model for them by leading by example. When students don't present themselves well, try to give them feedback in a gentle way. Yelling or speaking negatively may be discouraging to them, and they often get yelled at by coaches. Try giving them a gentle word to show them how they can improve. By that I mean using constructive criticism, something that is gonna make them feel better and not feel smaller, make them grow with their constructive criticism or whatever information you have to pass it on. Do you model respect for people of all races, gender, religion, or socioeconomic status? By using athlete's name, smiling, making eye contact, forgiving, making apologies when necessary, and finding time for individual teaching for all athletes, you will prove your respect for people of all races. Especially the individual coaching, in my opinion, is very important because it makes them feel that they are important as a piece, as a part of a team, and you really putting a time, an effort, and in a one-on-one, and making them feel special about it. Encouragement is the oxygen of the soul. Encourage your athletes to be the best version of themselves and model respect in all situations. I had a coach that one time he said something to me that I took as a good advice for me for a long time in my life, and I'm still thinking about it. As long as you put your heart into it, and I believe that not only in sports but professionally, do your best, put your heart on it, and that is an encouragement that I respect. Stress and its influence on athletes' confidence level. Part of being a good coach is helping athletes to deal with stress. Athletes are subject to a lot of stress from competition, training, among other causes. It could be a person, it could be their lives. Stress can affect their confidence levels. Your actions to help them deal with stress can have tremendous impact on their self-esteem. Helping our athletes to be successful. The most powerful tool for building confidence is for an athlete to be successful. As a coach, you need to constantly look for ways to help an athlete to get better. If a player is struggling, simplify practice drills as much as necessary to let them feel at least some level of success. Try to set up the game schedule to give the team a better chance of being successful early in the season. By that meaning, let them know about a competition so they can start getting better and practice and this way experimenting success earlier in the season. Elevating confidence through appropriate feedback. Players are human and they will make mistakes, first of all. Coaches can help increase their confidence level and preserve confidence levels after mistakes by remembering a few things. Be understanding. Most athletes don't make mistakes on purpose. Don't make it personal. Focus on the behavior, not the person. Limit the use of profanity. It is not necessary to get your point across. Never embarrass an athlete in public. And on that one, I would like to talk a little bit about, because if you have something important to tell the athlete, make sure you have a conversation with him or in private, that you're not embarrassing them in front of anyone, in front of the other teammates, or in front of the public. You want to have that talk in private. Start with a positive statement before instruct them on what needs to be changed or improved. It's always a good way if we start in a gentle way. If you talking and making sure you're recognizing everything good that they've done, and then use a constructive criticism in order for them to get better. Never give up. If you give up on them, they will give up on you. 4 things you should never overlook as a coach. Have fun. And by have fun, I remember when I first started coaching for smaller kids, little kids. And to me, one thing I've learned is that the first thing that they need to start doing is loving and having fun with what they're doing. Because if that happens first, everything else that's coming later becomes easier. Encourage input. Gain respect. Set goals. And about setting goals, make sure you're setting your goals smaller, little by little, attainable goals, so they feel that they can succeed for every step made. Make sure you're recognizing them. Summary. Coaching is rewarding profession, but it isn't easy. You are not only there to coach athletes, but to help them build character as well. Your influence on athletes goes well beyond the games on sport. You're helping them figure out who they are and what is important in life. Always celebrate success, no matter how big or small. A lot of the things that I've learned through sports, I carried on to my professional life. If you put a lot of effort and a lot of time, and you're always trying to do your best, if you're really putting your heart into it, eventually it's going to be rewarding for you. The reward will come for you. Concluding statements. Building a successful sports team or program is not just about winning games. There are a lot of factors involved. As a coach, you should feel responsible for being a person that can really change lives. Some morals and lessons that I was fortunate to learn through sports had an impact not only on me as an athlete, but as a person and as a professional. Instill in your athletes that if they work hard towards their goals in both sports and life, eventually life will give them a chance to prove that they've earned their spot. Again, when you compare this to situations that they're gonna happen in our lives, sometimes the positions and what we dream is not gonna come to you just without any effort. Sometimes we gotta try hard. You gotta put your heart, and you gotta do your best. And you can never give up practicing. You can never give up on believing. You can never give up on your faith. Eventually, you'll be rewarded as an athlete and as a professional as well. Thank you.